I should probably film an intro, shouldn't I? Well, hi. How goes it? It's me, Neon. You know, Neon. I'm here to put on makeup. We're not doing the Where Have I Been. We're not doing none of that. Cut that out. I just had the urge to film a YouTube video. And I have some new products here I wanted to try out. So here we go. If you want to see me putting this stuff on, then, you know, join in and enjoy. But without further ado, we're going to get right into this video. So, hi. So, I have a bunch of new makeup. To be fair, I have makeup that I've been sitting around. Everything at this point I'm trying is new.
Lies, lies, and more lies, and lies on top of lies.
But we're just going to dip and dive into all of it. And some things I have opinions on, some things I don't. First, going to start with the Face Glue Gripping Primer from NYX Cosmetics. This is supposed to essentially be a gripping primer. Think like Milk Hydro Grip. But the whole concept of this is supposed to be like a glue. It literally looks like a glue bottle. Also, the fact that I am like putting on makeup with a white shirt on is like very bold of me. First appearance, it feels just like glue. It looks like glue, but applying it, it has a bit more of a gel. Not a full-on gel, like a cream gel consistency. Like think Neutrogena water gel. Like it feels like that. It doesn't feel as grippy upon first application that like Hydro Grip feels. Of course, really focusing in the areas where like my makeup breaks apart the most. So bridge of the nose, tops of my cheeks, forehead. I don't get like the gripping sensation that I get from other primers. It doesn't give like full-on tackiness.
I'm not gonna say nothing today.
Next, from Colourpop, they have launched their Pretty Fresh Tinted Foundation Balms. These are essentially supposed to be like skin-like tint sticks, if you will. From what I'm understanding, these are supposed to be dupes of the Nessa Myricks Balm powder foundation, and I have used that foundation every which way and love it dearly. So we shall see. I do think that this being in a stick form is the leg up that they have over the Smarts, because you have that big pot that you have to scoop out and eventually use your hand or whatever with. This feels a bit more user friendly. So we're going to start on the perimeter and we're going to take the shade 21. It is very balmy. The texture feels very slick and smooth. It is part of the Pretty Fresh line, and that line is known more so for like your skin but better sort of stuff. Like Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer was a big hit. I don't expect this to give a ton of coverage, but I do expect this to give skin-like finish. So applying this, it is giving skin tint in stick form. I think that there is a place for that, and I think that if I was like someone who went out and wore makeup on a daily basis outside, like going into an office or something, I could see myself applying this really quick just to like give me a flash of tint and be good to go. As someone who wears makeup, when they do decide to wear makeup, wears it under like studio lights and prefers to like get full on wear, it's not my cup of tea. I can see some spotting from acne scars still. I didn't expect this to be full coverage because, like I said, it is part of the Pretty Fresh line. That being said, in terms of comparison to this Myricks, I don't see it. I see it maybe in the consistency of the formula, but in terms of application, obviously this is a stick and the balm is like a straight up balm. But the Nessa Myricks powder foundation actually dries down and gives like a powder finish. This gives more of like fresh skin, so I don't see this drying down anytime soon. I would, however, be interested to see if Colourpop wanted to do like a universal shade, like the way that Nessa has a universal shade, like it's straight up clear. You could use it as primer, you could use it as like a blurring method, but I think that they would have to change the formula because this doesn't give blurring. This gives like fresh hydrated skin. Fine, for different reasons.
They're so cute and fetch.
Now, we're going to get into concealer. Morphe has released a new concealer as well as color corrector. So they have the new Makeup Artist Under Eye Correcting Concealer. that comes in 20 shades of a concealer and 4 shades of a brightening corrector. I'm going to start with their under eye brightening concealer. I'm going to start with their under eye brightening concealer. I have these 2 shades here. This is the shade Papaya, which is like a brighter, peachier shade. I'm going to use that directly under the eye, specifically in like the inner corner. I'm also going to do a little bit under my brow bone. If we're going to be brightening and things like that, I want to see how this is going to work. And then I'm going to take the shade Cinnamon, which is a darker shade. This would be like my preferred color correcting shade. I'm going to take that and hit up those few spots that I had earlier from color correct or from the stick that I wanted to cover up. I will say that I have not used Morphe complexion products since their rebrand.
Lies.
The last complexion based products that I use have been their contour palettes, but these contour palettes, which I still love to death. This is the last time I've used, or their face palettes. This is the last time I used their complexion based products. Morphe, hey girl, I got put on Morphe's PR allegedly. And I got an email saying, hey, we want to see how you feel about the new brushes. And I'm like, I haven't received the new brushes. And I have yet to get a response to that email. And it's been over a month. I would love to try out you guys' new brushes, but I got to get them in the mail first. So if you feel in your heart's content, thanks.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
Clock it.
Clock that T.
The consistency feels a bit thicker, but it does not feel heavy. And it doesn't feel drying either. Controversial opinion. This consistency reminds me a lot of like LA Colors concealers, and those are GOAT. Like I still have LA, what is it, LA Girl Pro concealers. I still have my color correctors that I use whenever I like am blocking brows and things like that. This orange shade is the darkest shade, and the shade that I'm using under my eye and brow bone is the next darkest shade. There could easily be a shade in between. This is also Morphe. I'm surprised they even had this. Also, I will say, I kind of forgot that I was wearing concealer or foundation. So that Pretty Fresh Stick Balm Tint thing is actually pretty good because I don't feel like I'm wearing foundation at the moment. And it looks like skin. So I will give Colourpop that. I gotta say, between this color corrector and this skin tint stick, it's kind of giving, like, it's giving your skin but better, like.
I'm gagging.
But we are going to go ahead and conceal and contour with the I'm going to take the Wakeup Artist Concealer in the shade Chestnut. Love that color, by the way. The next darkest shade that they have is Clove. But like the color corrector, this does not feel heavy. It doesn't feel super drying either. I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing so far. Let's blend this out. Let's see what it's giving. On camera and under lights, this concealer actually looks really nice. It's giving very glowy. It doesn't feel super dewy, but it doesn't feel like wet. It's giving skin adjacent. I think the under eye concealer or the under eye color corrector kind of did more work in terms of brightening. That being said, I do like the way that this looks. So, okay, Morphe, we're gonna do one more shade. I'm gonna take the shade Truffle, which is the next to darkest shade. I'm going to apply that as my contour. The blend on this product, it is super creamy and still retains a lot of pigment. Yeah, this formula is eating. This formula is eating down.
Baby, that's piggy.
We're going to jump back to Morphe in a little bit for some more products. But in the meantime, there has been a lot of talk about like color powders. Obviously, in my almost 10 year of beauty, I have seen the push of banana powder, translucent powder, and like the fight of true translucent powders. We've gone into peach powders, pink powder, and now we're in the era of purple powder. Huda Beauty, who has like relaunched and everything, has released a new version of their Easy Bake powder, and this is in the shade UBE Birthday Cake, and this is a truly purple powder. I have used this powder once and I have opinions about it, but I do want to see what it looks like again. So we're going to take that and apply that under the eye. So my thoughts on this powder is, one, they brought back the scent. I don't hate the scent. I've never hated the Huda Beauty scent. I just think that it needed control and portion. The scent isn't terrible and isn't crazy. However, if you are sensitive, then you're not gonna like this. Two, I think that in terms of a powder, it's fine. It does what it's supposed to do. But I do think that if your concerns were if this powder is going to look purple on you, I wouldn't have those. It is going to look different on me than it's going to look on someone who's lighter complexion. If you're someone who enjoys pink powder and what it does for you in terms of color, you're going to like this. If anything, because it's purple, it pulls slightly cooler than like what a pink powder would. But it also isn't going to look crazy on deeper complexions. In fact, I think this is probably a better alternative to a translucent powder for deeper complexions, because translucent powder, it pulls white. It's going to pull white regardless. At least with like these lighter pink powders and these lighter purple powders and whatever, they're going to pull lighter but still have a bit of color, so it's not going to throw you off. When Huda took the advice of everyone and changed the formula of their powders and their foundations, it ate down. It ate down. And they have not missed since. I think that it actually does a great job of like slight color correcting, because as you saw, I had a lot of orange corrector on earlier, and this does a good job of kind of balancing that out. So on me, this powder looks great. It looks like a true translucent powder. On someone who is deeper than my, or lighter than my complexion, you'll probably like this because it actually is like purple.
They're so cute and fetch.
We're going to switch back over to Morphe because they have also came out with a new powder. This is the Morphe Cloudlight Soft Glow Veil. It comes with 4 different shades. This is supposed to be a illuminating response to like loose setting powder. Comes in 4 different shades. I am going to be taking the shade Sunset, which is cocoa with balancing orange. We are going to take this and we're going to dust this around the perimeter of the face, especially as a way to diffuse that loose setting powder a little bit. Like my skin instantly lit up, as you can see. I'm not someone who uses a lot of like press finishing powders. So do with that what you will, but I think that my skin looks really nice. And I think the combination of this and like the fresh tint and everything, my skin looks very realistic, if that makes sense. Like it looks, as someone who has always loved the base, this so far has given great base. This is very pretty. There needs to be a darker shade. Even as a pressed powder and all the powder stuff, I don't feel my face is heavy, and I think a lot of that has to do with the foundation I've used. But it is giving.
I'm gagging.
I am going to go in and do brows and bronzing and all that stuff before we come back and do the eyes. We are back with the base done, but we're gonna go in and set the face with the face glue setting spray. This is a transfer resistant makeup setting spray. This is essentially supposed to pair with the face glue primer. That spray looks intense. I'm kind of scared. So overall, the spray is fine. I don't feel like anything is different. It says it's transfer proof. I don't want to touch my face, but I will say though that powder, despite like me putting like matte bronzer on top of it and like powder to like bake and stuff with, it's still peeking through. My skin is very illuminated and it looks really great. Morphe 1, NYX 0. Didn't think I would be saying that in 2025.
Gag bitches.
We're gonna do the eyes next. I have from NYX the Ultimate Vintage Jean Baby eyeshadow palette, or color palette, sorry, because there's pressed pigments in here. I will say that their ultimate palettes, in my opinion, are pretty good. Like, there was a period where I used the Ultimate Euphoria or Utopia palette religiously. So hopefully this palette will not disappoint. We are going to do a look inspired by Monet Exchange. Someone who in my head, if I were to ever do drag, would be one of two inspirations that are being Shea Coulee. But she's been doing her makeup. I don't know if this is what she does like currently, but at least for the pit stop, her makeup looks like this. And it is so stunning and so gorgeous. We're going to make a very close and failed attempt at doing this. So, all right, we're going to take this shade right here, which is like a deep plummy brown. And I'm going to plop it a little bit higher, right here where my orbital bone starts, into like my nose contour that I naturally, or that I artificially put. And we're going to blend that down right in here. Okay, we're gonna take this like mauve-ish pink shade. It's got shimmer in it, so that's why I want to avoid using it. We're just gonna go over that darker line just to like buff and blend out the edges, because the way Monet does it, it looks like a cut crease, but the crease itself is so tiny. And so in order to make that blend look effortless, it's got to be blended to hell and back. We're gonna go back in to that darker plum shade, and I am tracing over where we were. And with that same taper brush from earlier, no extra product, we are just going to buff the upper edge. I'm supposed to be talking about the shadows, right? In terms of the shadows work just like that Utopia palette works. NYX, in my opinion, makes the best drugstore eyeshadows. Taking this fluffier brush, and I'm going to take this lighter camel color, and we are going to just buff and blend even more, especially at the top of the arc. All right, so now I'm going to take a flat concealer brush and my concealer shade, and we're going to carve this out. I could use like micellar like I usually do, but this lid needs to be very neutral. So I'm going to use concealer. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take this and we're going to go and cut out most of that darker shade. So as you can see, the crease that we created is very thin, very small, and everything just kind of blends into my natural lid space. All right, we're gonna do some simple eye work and eye blending. I'm gonna take the darker shade that we've used, of course, and we're going to drag that down into the outer third of the eye. We're gonna take that Dusty Rose shade and buff the outer third of the eye, and take that chocolate brown and use that to blend inward. So Monet takes the black liner and it runs across the bottom, leaving a little space here. So we're going to just take that gel liner, and I'm going to start putting in some blues. So we're going to we're going to take this deepest blue shade right here, and I am using that not quite to set the black, but I am packing it on at the edge and slightly buffing. And we're going to put this lighter blue, and that's going to be the accent. I will say that the blue in this palette is actually really nice, but I will say, especially for blues have gotten a whole lot better. We've got like clearly we got decent blues in the drugstore now. But we're going to take a white liner, apply that in the inner corner. But as a safety measure, I'm just going to set that real quick with white. I'm just going to take this white that's in this palette We're gonna go back to the top lid. I'm gonna take a black, had to make sure it was black. Take a black liquid liner. I'm taking the one size liquid liner, and we're just going to do a wing. I'm just gonna go and add a complementary color to this. Obviously, the focus on the bottom lash line is blue, so we are going to use orange to counter set that, and pray that I don't mess this up. Obviously, this is about the eyeshadow, and the eyeshadow is great. I do wish that there was a darker color, like the crease shade that I use. I could obviously just grab the black from anywhere. I just wish it was a deeper black or something, or a deeper brown. Anything that would have made this look more like black or blacken it up. But other than that, this is really nice. Drugstore pricing, really nice quality. That blue is bluing. So I'm going to clean this up just a smidget more. And we're going to move into the face. Back up. For blush, Huda Beauty's put out a lot of blushes. They've released more shades of their filter blush. There was, of course, the UBE shade. They came out with a powder called UBE Cream. And no, this is not going to work for people like me. But then they also came out with 3 other shades. The shade Intense Guava, which is what we're going to be using today for the melanated lollipops. I mean, it's a straight up pink magenta. Listen, I am not personally one that loves hot pink, but I do think there is space for shades like that. Outside of like the shades that are just a bit too pale for me, I do think that this product as a whole is a great blush product because it is super easy to control and work with. I've never had issues with like it picking up product. It always deposits just the right amount of color while looking fresh and cute. And it always blends in lovely with my foundation. And this shade appears to be no exception. It's giving Lydia and Acacia's promo shots for Drag Race 17, but the blush is blushing.
It's so muggy out here.
So we're going to finish up the lips. I have 2 different products I could use. I have these Outlast Forever pigments from CoverGirl. I also have these yummy Plumper glosses in these new shades. I personally love these glosses, and so I'm going to be using it. I'm going to be using the yummy Plumper gloss in the shade Pixie Dust. It is a pink gloss. It has like some blue and purple glitters in it. Of course, we're going to use a lip liner because I am a Negro. All right, lips are done. We're just gonna put on lashes and we'll be done with the look. What don't I look nice? Looking like I know how to put on makeup. I will say MVP of this entire look will be eyeshadow. I think the ultimate vintage Jean Baby eyeshadow palette from NYX is probably the best part that I've tried. Only because if you factor in the quality versus the price, this is a well-performing palette.
Look how she ate that.
If I were to give a second option, I feel like I would give it to the concealer. I can't clock or spot anything. They blend out perfectly. They are like, in terms of formula, probably the best concealer I've tried in a long time.
Go, piggy! Yeah!
On the bottom end of the spectrum, I would probably put the NYX glue products. I don't know. It's not transfer proof. Like when I hear transfer proof, I'm thinking one size. I'm thinking all nighter by Urban Decay. This doesn't give any of that. I'm thinking honestly the other setting sprays from NYX over this. And then the primer itself, the primer doesn't feel like a gripping primer. I feel like it's just a hydrating primer. Like it didn't have the tack that like Hydro Grip has. or the Jelly Grip primers that WELP has. And even looking at my face now, right here on my nose, this is where my makeup tends to break up the most. There's a spot there, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I don't put a lot of foundation there. I barely put any contour there. I put powder there to make sure everything's locked in, but it didn't secure that. And I've tried other primers that don't even claim to be like gripping primers to hold that in place, and I'm a little frustrated. If anything, I think these are gimmicky. I think that they play into the concept of glue and play off of like gripping primers that we have all tried, but I feel like there are better gripping primers for better prices.
So,
No, I'm saying
what now?
But overall, this was a fun experience putting on makeup again. I look good. I'm not promising any content anytime soon. We are trying out just putting makeup on because I got the urge to film a YouTube video. You can follow me on some social media platforms. It's just That's Just Neon. We're dropping the Neon MUA, going into That's Just Neon because I'm exploring other avenues besides just makeup. And I'll leave it at that. But thank you guys for watching. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. And until next time, or whenever time I come back, take care.
Is it true that you haven't released an album in 8 years? Like one that's new?
How about this? You don't put out an album for 8 years and we'll see if people still care about you.